Hey everybody, how you doing? Bud Brown here, living in Campo, California. Hey, you want to buy a little town in California? Campo is for sale. I'm serious. I'll see if I can find the announcement that I saw in the newspaper. Yeah, the town that I live in is for sale. 16, I think it said 16 acres, $6.6 million only. Got a post office, got restaurant, little coffee shop, grocery store, anything you'd want in a little town can be yours for $6.6 million. But that wasn't what I was going to talk about. In this video, I'm going to start off saying that life is full of twists and turns. Uh-oh. What's he going to say? Well, you know, I always want to keep my passport up to date. So in the Philippines, just for those that don't know, you cannot enter the Philippines if your passport is within 6 months of expiring. No. So, not that I was thinking about the Philippines, but I was thinking about other countries as well. So, when my passport, which still about 4 or 5 months from expiring, I went down to the post office and renewed my passport. So there was some interesting things, and for the ones that are not familiar, I'm going to tell you exactly what happened, and the ones that are familiar, you know, excuse me, and so just kind of bear with me for a couple of minutes. I took my passport down. The post office has forms to, at least here, and I think most all post offices do, to renew your passport or to get a new passport. So the cost was $130 for the passport, but they have a card, which I didn't know before, and Andrew has one, that you can just use that card to go across on these border places in Mexico, and I'm not sure what else, but anyway, instead of carrying my passport around the whole time, just get the card. So I ordered a passport, $130 plus the card, which was $30. So $160 total. And then I had to pay for the envelope to send it in, which minimal cost. And I asked her, I was thinking maybe 3 months, or I don't know how long it takes. She said, I asked her, how long does it take? Oh, about 3 weeks. 3 weeks, is that all? Yeah, for renewing a passport. Okay, fantastic. So 3 weeks went by, no passport. 4 weeks. So I think right now, I haven't checked it, but I got my passport today. It was about 5 weeks it took, that's okay. But here's the interesting thing. Brand new, of course, but it's different. Number one, they didn't return my old passport. I've got like 4 or 5 old passports. They punch holes in it, and then they returned it. But this time, this came in a little cardboard envelope, and that was it. And also, I want to know, where's my card? So maybe the card is mailed separately, and I'll get it in a day or two. But I also noticed, I think just for privacy, I won't show you the inside, but the page with the picture on it is really thick and laminated. So that's different. And it's got my picture on 2 pages, not just one. So I think it's kind of cool to have a brand new passport. And look at this. Maybe I shouldn't show that, but that is to scan. It says scan for important passport information and travel requirements. So this is different, but I'm glad I got it. And Tammy and Andrew have been talking. And they realize that their mom and me are at our happiest when we're traveling and we're socializing. I noticed that Gloria, when she talks with her friends, Josepina in the Philippines, Edna and Margette here in this area, oh, she's happy as a duck. And it seemed like her attitude is better. She's feeling better. She's mentally and physically healthier. And myself as well. I meet some subscribers of mine here. We've gone out and had coffee. Oh man, I'm floating on a cloud when I'm finished. So I think human nature, we have to have, we're social human beings. And they say that in prison, isolation is the worst form of, I don't want to say torture, but suffering, because we human beings are gregarious people. We like to socialize. So we've come to the conclusion that we need to definitely travel down to Mexico or anywhere else, but Mexico is the closest. So of course, if you followed me, we've traveled down into Tecate several times, and I've enjoyed the atmosphere there. And we used to get medication there, but now that we're set up with our health care here, then we don't go down there that often, but I want to. And here's the thing too. I got to thinking about the relationship that Mexico and the Philippines have. If you don't know it, which I think is fairly common knowledge, that they're both colonies of Spain. There was a trade route going from Acapulco to Manila. And I believe they were taking gold from one place to the other. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure Mexico had a lot of gold. Aztecs had a lot of gold. From 1565 to 1815, some of the largest ships of the era cruised the oceans between the Philippine capital of Manila and Acapulco, Mexico. These ships, dubbed the Manila galleons, traveled between the two cities once a year, bringing silks, porcelain, jewelry, and other luxury goods east to Mexico, then returning west to the Philippines with gold and silver, soldiers, missionaries, and other passengers. They would go to Manila, and a lot of the Filipino sailors would get on these galleons, is what they call these ships, come back. And so there was a big trade going between Acapulco and the western coast of Mexico to Manila. And I got to thinking, I wouldn't be surprised if there were Filipino communities that are living in Mexico. I mean, they may have been there for several generations, and maybe they even lost their culture or language. Kind of doubt it, but that'd be a hoot to go down to Mexico, where these colonies or these communities of Filipinos are. Wouldn't that be something? So I started looking up Filipino. I asked Mr. Google, Filipino communities in Mexico. And sure enough, on the west coast there, where the galleons had stopped off, some of the Filipino sailors just abandoned ship and stayed in Mexico. So I'm saying, man, that's where I want to check out. So now that I've got my passport, I'm going to see about flights. Oh, here's an interesting thing. Speaking of flights, I checked from Guadalajara is my old stomping ground. That's where I learned Spanish when I was a kid. And so I checked the flights going from San Diego to Guadalajara. Woo! $550 round trip. But then I thought, wait a minute, maybe Tijuana airport. Holy smokes. Talk about a price difference. It was like 125, 30, under $150 round trip from Tijuana to Guadalajara. So I wanted to ask you, I've got subscribers from just all over the world, which I'm so proud of. And I know there's many that live in Mexico. So I'm asking you, do you know of any Filipino communities in Mexico? I've heard there's one place on the West Coast called Barra de Navidad. Barra is like a sandbar, and Christmas, Navidad, Feliz Navidad. So Christmas sandbar, whatever. But anyway, I've heard that there's I saw on YouTube there was a celebration, a Mexican celebration of the Filipino heritage. Also, in the state of Puebla, there's a town called Cholula, and I think in that area there may be Filipino communities. And also, I heard or I saw somewhere on Google a place called Colima. So anyone that lives in that area or knows anything about Filipino communities in Mexico, oh, I would love to hear that, and I'd love to go visit them. So now I got my passport, and I told Gloria just a couple minutes ago if it'd be okay if I went down there and did a recon run, because she's open to living in Mexico. We wouldn't live there as long as we're living in the Philippines, but if we live there a few months at a time, come back, probably get her medication or see a doctor, whatever she needs to do, and then head back. And of course, the kids say we stay with them anytime, of course. So if you know anyone or yourself that lives in Mexico and anything about the Filipino population or anything else, because I am going to go down to Mexico. I'm planning to stand maybe a week, 4 or 5 days. Gloria said, yeah, that's fine. She'll be fine, especially with the kids here. So a real quick announcement there about, life being full of twists and turns. Oh, I'm excited about it. So till then, till next time, I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.